There is a quiet mathematical error sitting inside a government database right now, and if you were born before 1958, it is likely draining hundreds of dollars from your bank account every single month. This isn't a glitch, it's not a temporary system crash, and nobody did this to you maliciously. It is far worse than that. It is a permanent compounding penalty triggered by a single choice you made the exact morning you signed your name on a Social Security application, a choice most older Americans made in the dark, completely unaware that they were locking themselves into a restricted financial reality for the rest of their lives. Right now, the gap between what the law says you are owed and what the Treasury is actually depositing into your account is sitting somewhere between $200 and $600. Every 30 days, that gap widens, and the window to reclaim what belongs to you is actively closing. Most people assume that because the system is automated, it is correct. But the algorithm doesn't care about your retirement security. It only cares about processing the file off the desk. If you are among the millions of seniors who filed early at 62 or 63 and assume your reduced payment is a permanent life sentence, you have been deeply misinformed. Or if you're on the other side, the disciplined worker who waited until full retirement age or even age 70, believing you are automatically receiving the maximum absolute cap of your benefit, you are making an equally dangerous assumption. The state calculates your entire life based on your top 35 years of inflation-adjusted earnings, but they don't cross-check their math against reality. They simply run the numbers you give them, assign a monthly figure, and never look at your file again unless you force them to. Think about the sheer volume of data moving through the Social Security Administration. They handle tens of millions of active files using legacy logic that dates back decades. Their system does not audit your record for missing wages. It does not flag accounts where a required adjustment was skipped, and it will absolutely never send you a courtesy letter letting you know you're leaving money on the table. The check stays exactly where it is, frozen in time, while inflation eats away at your purchasing power. The mechanism causing this hidden underpayment is incredibly simple, yet completely invisible from the outside. It all comes down to the master earnings file, a database that Congress itself has admitted is riddled with systemic inaccuracies. If a single year of your peak earnings was recorded incorrectly, if an employer transposed a digit in your Social Security number, or if you had a period of self-employment where your taxes were paid but never properly posted to your lifetime average indexed monthly earnings, your benefit base is permanently broken. For a lower-income senior, just one missing year can quietly steal $80 a month from your check, a loss that totals nearly $1,000 every single year for life. For higher-income professionals, an error during your peak earning years alters the entire trajectory of your retirement math. Yet the burden of proof doesn't rest on the government, it rests entirely on you sitting at your kitchen table, staring at a screen. The second breakdown happens when you keep working after filing early. You probably remember the sting of the earnings test, where the government withheld $1 for every $2 you earned above the threshold. What they didn't tell you, and what their system frequently forgets to execute, is that the moment you reach full retirement age, they were legally required to recalculate your benefit upward to credit you for every single month those payments were withheld. This adjustment of reduction factor should lift your benefit by roughly 6.67% for every 12 months of withheld checks. If you reached your full retirement age and your monthly deposit didn't see a sudden, distinct leap outside of the standard cost of living adjustments, the automated system failed you. That unapplied math is sitting in limbo, saving the Treasury money while you pay the price. Then there is the hidden trap inside spousal benefits, an area where married couples are losing massive amounts of ground. A spousal benefit is legally pegged to half of the higher earner's primary insurance amount. If the higher earning spouse ever receives a late career recalculation, an earnings correction, or an adjustment for delayed credits, the secondary spousal benefit is supposed to mirror that increase automatically. But it rarely does. The system leaves the lower earning spouse stranded on the old lower calculation indefinitely. Furthermore, if you belong to that unique group born on or before January 1st, 1954, You had access to a highly lucrative strategy called a restricted application, allowing you to collect a full spousal check while your own retirement credits grew by 8% a year. If you didn't explicitly trigger that specific mechanism at filing, thousands of dollars of lifetime leverage were left completely untouched. The largest dollar-for-dollar errors, however, hit the people who sacrificed and delayed their retirement until age 70. For every year you waited past your full retirement age, you earned an unconditional 8% annual increase through delayed retirement credits. That is 2/3 of 1% added to your check for every single month of patience. On a standard $2,000 baseline, missing even a single year of these credits due to an administrative tracking error cuts your income by $160 every month, stripping away thousands of dollars a year that you earned through sheer discipline. You can verify this math yourself right now by comparing your exact filing date, your full retirement age, and the primary insurance amount, but you have to know exactly where to look because the standard benefit verification letter hides these structural calculations behind a single summarized final number. When you uncover these discrepancies, the government is legally obligated to adjust your payments moving forward, but the real victory lies in the retroactive recovery window. For structural earnings record errors, the administration will often recalculate your benefit all the way back to your initial entitlement date, resulting in massive five-figure lump sum payouts for years of persistent mistakes. But for standard post-filing adjustments, their policy strictly caps the retroactive lookup at just 6 months, unless you can definitively prove administrative omission. This is why waiting is a mathematical disaster. Every month you hesitate is a month of retroactive back pay that evaporates forever. You cannot fix this with a casual phone call or a verbal agreement with a representative who is trying to clear their queue. It requires a formal, written trace. Before you ever pick up the phone or schedule an appointment, you must secure the single foundation stone of this entire strategy, which is your complete, unsummarized Social Security earnings record. You cannot rely on the brief one-page summary mailed to your house. You must log into your secure account at ssa.gov, pull the master file, and audit your lifetime work history year by year, checking for zeros where income should be, or self-employment years that never registered. This document contains the raw data that dictates your financial baseline, and it is the only evidence that forces a manual review of your file. The reality of the situation is stark. The seniors who are currently collecting the maximum amount allowed under federal law are not the ones who trusted the system to get it right. They are the ones who treated their retirement like a high-stakes audit, who downloaded the master file, ran the math independently, and submitted a formal written correction request using the exact regulatory language the administration cannot ignore. Taking control of this calculation takes less than an afternoon, but for anyone born before 1958, that single afternoon can completely rewrite your monthly income, securing hundreds of dollars in permanent increases and returning the money that was legally yours from the very beginning.